What's going on, people? My name is Josh Osho and I'm inspired by music.
So I want to speak a bit about your background first. Homeless at 16, right?
Yeah.
And got involved in drugs at 17. What made you change, your background?
I think it was like, there was quite a few reasons, but one of the main ones, it was never really me from the start. I think it was just like product of circumstance at the time, bad decisions.
And what has it been like since being signed to Iron Records?
I was talking about this yesterday with someone, and like, I guess the like media side of it and people noticing you more and stuff like that, it doesn't faze me, because when I meet people, I just meet them as people. No matter what people think of you or perceive you as, like every morning I wake up, I still feel the same as I did when I was 4, when I was like, when you're growing up and people are like, oh, you've grown up so much, and you've always just felt the same. Yeah. So the things that are going on now, like, I just feel normal. I still feel like there's so much more to go, and I don't feel like I'm really achieving anything specifically. I'm just doing what I feel like I should be doing. So the transition's been kind of cool. I think what's been difficult is that the transition between doing music purely just because I want to like now there's a demand, and obviously there's a job.
And your music, from what I've heard, it sounds like you incorporate like blues, hip hop. How do you personally describe the genre of music that you produce? Put you on the spot here.
I don't know. So I just use this because I improvised this in the interview before and it kind of sounds bad. But I called it me music because I feel like it reflects personally like the music I listen to, but also the kind of person I am as well. Like, I'm quite an open-minded guy. Like, I have friends all over the place. Like, my interests varies like so much. Like,
I can tell that with the type of music.
And I think I actually wrote the record before I got signed, the album. So I never had any A&Rs kind of over my shoulder saying like, you need to write this next song about this because of this, or it needs to sound like this because of this. I was just going into the studio and writing what I felt like on the day. So that's probably why it's so kind of sonically kind of all over the place. But I love it because even though it's probably more obvious to other people, but because that's just what I've always done. It's just like, it doesn't sound weird to me. So,
And in your bio, I read it said you want to get people thinking. Musically right. Can you elaborate on that?
I think I don't want to say it's right, offending anyone. I think in the last few years, besides some anomalies, like a large majority of what's been out there is about one of 3 things: girls, money, and nights out. And it's not to say that songs shouldn't be about that, because obviously that happens in life. Like, that's a facet of life, but it's only a facet of life. Like, there's so many other things that are going on, so many other emotions that people go through, so many other experiences that people go through. And I just want to shed light on just a few other things.
It's so refreshing to hear that, because my song you hear is all about this girl, sex, money. It's like, we have something new.
And it is, like I said, it's like, I listen to some songs like that, but it's just nice to change it up a little bit and give people something different to work with it.
And I also read that you have quite a close connection with your dad. Is he very supportive of your journey?
He's just supportive in general. Like, he didn't actually want to get into the music business at first.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know, I think because of how fickle it is, and just I don't know, he didn't want to do music. But he's always been quite supportive. But obviously the more busy I get, I don't see him a lot, all the time now. And he's busy. But still
and talk to me about your upcoming debut album. When's that out?
We've got a long time for the album. It's called Learning Is Forever, LIFE.
Just want to throw out, is it live or LIFE?
Yeah, it's both.
Okay.
It's just there's quite a lot of layers of meaning on the whole record. But yeah, that's got to be out sometime next year.
Yeah.
But I've got an EP coming soon called The Manifesto that I'm just working on, and I've got my next single coming as well, which is like in March, I think.
What's that called?
Giants. Yeah. And I've got I'm working with an artist called Childish Gambino on the second mix. And yeah, there's a track at the moment out with Mark at the moment. So yeah, I'm busy boy.
And do you have a favourite song that you've written or?
That I've written? Not one favourite, no.
No.
No, I like them all.
Oh. And do you have any musical influences?
Yeah, loads.
I know you said Ben Harper, didn't you?
Yeah, it's funny because, again, I just tweeted all of them yesterday. I'd say Wycliffe, Lauryn Hill, John Mayer, Ben Harper, Tracy Chapman, this guy Nick Drake as well. Who else? And yeah, like all the kind of, I listen to a lot of like 1920s, 1930s blues, and there's way too many names to mention. So,
really?
Yeah.
Just won't go there.
Yeah.
And your first single was Redemption Days, right? Featuring Ghostface.
Yeah.
Where was that shot in Brooklyn?
Half in Brooklyn. No, some in Brooklyn, some in Manhattan, and some in Lambeth.
Yeah, I saw some of that. It looked really fun. Was
Yeah,
it good?
it was. Yeah, it was.
Was it your first time in Brooklyn?
Yeah, it was my first proper time in America. I've been before when I was young, but I don't really count because I was too young to really remember.
What was it like working with Ghostface?
It was cool. Like the whole trip was just a bit of a whirlwind, because literally as soon as we landed there, obviously it was just like all stations go, and it only
daunting.
Yeah, like no, not daunting. No, not daunting. It was just weird. It was like there was, and obviously because it was a single. Before then, there was so much stuff going on. Then we got there, shot the video, and then I didn't have any time for a little while to digest it. There was so much stuff going on after we got back. So when we got there, I was able to just enjoy it for the experience of it. And he was just a really cool guy as well, like really humble, really eloquent. So no, it's fun. Man. It was really cool.
And what advice would you give to youngsters who want to try and break into the music industry?
Don't, no, I'm joking.
Don't.
No, I'm joking. What advice? Just believe in what you're doing. I think like sometimes people's motivation is to get signed, and people's motivation is to like make money. If you make your motivation just loving what you do and just continuing to do it, at some point, whether it's through getting signed or whether it's just directly reaching out to an audience, you're gonna do well. Like Ed Sheeran's a perfect example of that. Like for a long time, he wasn't really kind of accepted by the industry, and now he's killing it. And he hasn't changed what he's done for a long time. There's some of like the greatest artists have had to go through so many different like stages, so many different deals to actually be successful. But I just think the key is believing in what you're doing. A deal doesn't mean anything if you don't believe in what you're doing musically. So.
And what do you like to do in your spare time? Apart from go to the gym.
That's it. Go to the gym. I read quite a bit. I just bought like 14 books yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, I love reading. Like not novels. I'm reading a book called A New Earth by this guy called Eckhart Tolle. He's like some spiritualist guy. And I don't read novels. I don't like non-fiction and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like fiction. I read like a lot of history books and stuff, and yeah, I love history.
Interesting. Yeah. What else do you like to do? Do you like to go out or?
Not really. Like I'm not. I mean, when I was like 16 and 17, I shouldn't probably say this on camera, but like I had a fake ID, so I used to go clubbing.
I think quite a few people did.
Yeah. So I got all my clubbing out of my system. So now I don't really understand clubbing, because you go to a club. It's expensive to get in, it's expensive for the drinks. You can't hear anyone. Yeah. The music isn't always the best music anyway. And you spend your whole night standing because you can't find a seat.
Yeah,
it's just such a painful experience. Yeah. And then you just wake up like all dehydrated because you've drunk so much. You're not even really drunk because you're just so sober from standing up and walking so much. But I do like going to pubs and stuff. I love football. Watch football a lot. Arsenal. Who's your support?
Chelsea.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a big football fan though. Yeah. And Christmas plans, any plans for Christmas?
Work. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff to get done. So.
What about Christmas Day? You must have a day off, no?
Kind of, not really. I'm not really like a big Christmas guy.
Really? You don't like to celebrate?
It's not that. Like, I love being around family and stuff, but Christmas specifically, I'm a bit of a, not a Grinch. Like, I'm a giver, but I just think sort of. I think we all kind of know it's a bit of a con.
Oh, but you can still get magical. And
Yeah, I mean, I do like the Christmas lights and like, I love winter in London.
Yeah.
I'll probably just see some friends and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. And what if you could receive a Christmas present this year? What would it be?
What would it
One
be?
special Christmas present.
To resurrect Jeff Buckley.
Really?
Yeah. He's like another like big inspiration, and he died really early, committed suicide, and he's just sick. So I'll resurrect all the greats, yeah, because then I get more than one Michael Jackson
If
or
you
money.
collaborate with one artist, be it in the past.
Who would it be if I could collaborate with anyone? Who would it be? Oh, that's a hard one. Lauryn Hill or Tupac.
Really?
Yeah,
That's good.
Lauryn Hill, Tupac.
Any New Year's resolutions?
Just to keep maintaining, really. Like, I always try and think about every day, like shifting stuff and changing stuff, like for the better. So yeah, just continue doing the same thing.
Well, thank you for the interview. Lovely
you.
meeting you.